me a plane ticket, but when I reach by the counter, they ask me to pay for it. Look, I'm fed up, 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 I'm fed up. This year, don't give yourself no headache.
Just give me the cash for Christmas.
Once you have the money, I go pay.
Just give me the cash for Christmas.
Somebody tell Santa Claus for me.
All I want is cash for Christmas.
Leave me money underneath the tree.
Just give me the cash for Christmas.
I don't understand all you know. Why don't you just do like my grandmother? My grandmother goes, every year she just give me a card. When I open it, oh God, money in the card. Why you only card that that's what I'm going to give me? Like I don't tell all you in the late days he was here. Tell me what, just give me the two. The pesos, the leros, Benjamin, just give me that money. I'm not asking for enough money. Just give me the money. Money in the bank. We take up by myself as Christmas. Come on. No, I don't mean to offend.
Casualty 911, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with the consultant. Health is not merely the absence of diseases. It is your social, economic, physical, spiritual, and mental well-being. Just imagine you on 88.5 Sufre FM, talking, questioning, sharing your experience, information, education, entertainment, news, instructions, advice on diabetes, high blood pressure, strokes, menopause, AIDS, pregnancy, sex.
Sex? Did you say sex?
As prescribed, take your medication, exercise, and diet. On 88.5 Sufre FM, tell a friend, call your neighbor. Casualty 911 is on.
And of course, good morning again. It's Monday, beautiful Monday, 28th day of November 2022. Good morning to you guys on Facebook as well. Just joining us. Good morning to you in Radio Land. Good morning to MNC Drugstore. Good morning to Shoppers Choice Supermarket, Allen Supermarket. Good morning. Good morning to you. If you're locked on, good morning to the bus drivers, the taxi drivers. It's Monday. It's between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. And you know what time it is. It's time for Casualty 911. And I have Miss Wilson here with me, Miss Louisa Wilson here. Good morning, Miss Wilson. How are you?
Good morning, Romanas. How are you?
I'm great.
I trust that you had a very good weekend.
I did. I had a restful weekend, not much.
Wow.
Didn't do too much, just mostly resting over the weekend.
Yeah. That's good. And spending time with family, I hope.
Spending time with family, sleeping.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was a good weekend for sure. What about you?
Well, this weekend was actually very, very tiring. I must admit, working hard. So therefore, I'm a little bit tired this morning.
Oh.
But you know already, we have to do what we have to do. Yes. And we must come to work.
Yes, and educate the public and, try to, encourage them to live a better life.
Very much so.
Yes.
So let me just say good morning to all our listeners. It's always a pleasure to be here. And it's nice having Romanas here with us. But you. Let me just say that I do miss Erland also.
Oh, yesterday was his birthday actually.
Yes.
So happy belated birthday, Erland.
I did wish him happy birthday actually. Oh. I'm happy that he's getting older. He must be dying when he heard that. And wiser, hopefully.
Hopefully, that part.
Yes. Let me just say good morning to all our listeners at MNC Drugstore. I know y'all are always listening to us. Our people in Conneries, Choiseul and Soufre. I would also like to say a special good morning to our listeners online also. And we hope that it's almost the end of the year.
Almost.
And we would also like to, before the year end, let me just say a special thank you to Ashcon Construction. I think that's the name.
Is that your sponsor?
No, not my sponsor for the radio program. Let me just say thank you for supporting us when we have the different outreach program. He has always been one to give and render support in any way that he can. So thank you, Mr. Ashwell Paul. I just want to make sure that I did that because it's long overdue. I mean, every time you ask for something, you get sponsors, and next thing you know, you never say thank you.
Yeah.
Whatever contribution has really, really gone a long way, I must admit, especially to our more needy persons. So thank you, really appreciate it. I hope next year more to come. I also would like to ask the public, the general public, the mental health team is having a clothing drive, and they would like persons. I know we know around Christmas time, many people clear out their wardrobes, out with the old, in with the new, and so on. Clothing items for our patients, we would really, especially men's clothing, we would really appreciate it if you could contribute some of your trends, your outfits, your, clothes, shoes. They said they're especially looking for large sizes, especially men with large, shirts,
waist.
extra large. If you have those and you want to, dispose of them, and please, buy some muna bo bagay.
You know, the shoe we
exactly. Thank you, Robertus. You said it well. You can also you can always contact the mental health team of the Sufre Hospital, and you can always drop these items there for them. Okay, we'll be really, really appreciative, and these things go such a long way. You might not believe it. A lot of people are very skeptical about giving out their clothes and so on.
Yeah,
But these things really do go a long way. And, it's our everyday people that benefit from our family members. You might be surprised. Our community members, our colleagues, all of these things, people do benefit from. And we would really appreciate it. So don't hesitate when you're doing the Christmas cleaning, deep cleaning, general cleaning. Don't hesitate to weed out some of your outfits, your clothes, and donate to the mental health team. So having said that, Romanus, today we're going to have a general topic.
A general topic, all right.
A general topic.
But we have to start somewhere. So where do we start?
Where do we start?
All right. I was thinking over the weekend, I know for sure that at some point we're going to speak about this. Christmas is coming, and a lot of people do like heavy eating. Like, they just want to just eat whatever. So maybe we should speak about that, Even if it's Christmas, you still have to watch what you eat. You cannot be eating all the ham because you have a ham, then you want to eat all.
And the drinking also.
And the drinking, yes. Yes, all that is important. Drinking, partying more in December. So all those things, yeah.
The juve, the loss of sleep.
The loss of sleep.
Especially for our hypertensive persons and so on. So, and then don't forget, a lot of people reheat their foods.
Oh, yes.
So you have a lot of persons getting diarrhea and vomiting because they do not heat their foods at the right temperature. And that is true. We have to be mindful what we eat based on our medical condition. Don't forego anything and say, it's only Christmas, just deju. If you want to stop the medication for drinking, consult your doctor first.
Yes.
You understand? You cannot do without the medication, consult your doctor and let them guide you. They'll tell you, no, you cannot stop it. Yes, you can stop it for just the day, and that is it. Again, alcohol have no benefits to the body if you have a medical condition. So, you have to assess your risk. Which one is more beneficial to you? Whether you want to drink the alcohol and stop the medication, or you want to, take the medication and don't drink the alcohol. Again, our eating habits around the Christmas season, the pork, all the fatty foods, and so on, how we prepare our meats are very, very important and beneficial to our health. We must consider all of these. And please, people, another thing we have to be mindful of, do not engage our children in alcohol drinking and say, oh, just what it is, saison ça, ti mal la sa boire, ti strong, bois ça pas fait rien.
Ti chandi.
Ti chandi.
Bon ti bouchon ti boy pour faire chaud.
C'est même bagay là. Et c'est quoi moi même lever. But at the same time, it can have an effect on our children, and that's how it starts. I can tell you that because at a very young age, I myself, I was introduced to alcohol drinking at a very, very early age. And when you see these older people saying you buy a shot,
you take a little,
and then they give you a little sip, they mix it with Coke or Sprite or strong rum, and that is how it starts. And it takes a very strong individual to stop the habit. You understand? I mean, I was strong, I could have stopped the habit. But others, and it becomes part of it, becomes part of the family too.
It becomes like a family tradition.
Yes.
You want to pass it on, but it's not right.
It's not right. Yeah. So, and then, you're able to speak about your own experiences. I mean, I personally grew up in a rum shop environment. And, you see the effects of alcohol on persons and so on. So you have to be mindful of all these things. Don't introduce our children to alcohol drinking. And even babies, they allow them to drink from bottles too. I mean, during that season, all of these things you have to be mindful of.
I remember growing up, my parents never let any of us drink from a bottle. And,
really?
and I think it was because sometimes, a child would see a bottle there. Sometimes, they use the bottles for so many things. Sometimes they put bleach in it. Sometimes they put, all those things in the bottle. So they don't want you to just take any bottle and drink from it. So that is why. But I don't know if that still happens where children are not allowed to drink from bottles.
That is true. But a lot of parents, they tend to forget these things. They really tend to forget these things, and that's how it happens. I just want to, make sure that we are on the right path. We are on the especially as I know it's early to be saying these things, but these are the exact same things we see during the Christmas season, Romanus.
Definitely.
And don't forget the accidents on the road, the driving. Especially when you come from the Juves.
Yes, you're tired, you're sleepy, you're drunk, and then, somebody wants to race.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And these are some of the good old days. But now that you're getting older, you must understand these are not the things that we should be partaking in. And you have to encourage the younger persons not to do it also. And have a designated driver. And don't pressure the person that is not going to drink into drinking.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, they don't drink, but when Christmas comes, with the temptation of seeing all the alcohol around them, they figure, everybody's doing it, let me just do it this one time.
That is so true. And that is one of the things we have to be mindful of. Have a designated driver. There's so many accidents. At the end of the day, you enjoy yourself, but you end up reaching at the hospital. That doesn't make sense. If you're having some clean fun, you can drink moderately and then stay at your home, eat some good food, spend time with the family. That's what Christmas is all about.
That is what it's supposed to be about.
Yes. So you can do all of that. And again, be careful in what activities you partake in. Safe sex is of paramount importance. Why do you think so?
Because people are drunk and then, everything they see looks enticing, so they want to partake in it.
That is so true. Sometimes the person you normally look at when you sober, when you drunk, you happen to.
Yes.
So you have to be mindful because drinking compromises your mental abilities, everything else.
Yeah, to think correctly.
Exactly. So you have to be mindful of all these things. Safe sex, and again, we have a lot of issues with STI, sexually transmitted infections, and we have to be mindful of that. You don't know, you don't want after the Christmas you feeling some itching or you seeing some discharge. Quand il body somewhere il qui laisse-moi dormir.
Pas même changer.
Pas même changer. C'est tout mauvais. So you have to remember all of these things. And don't forget in smoking also, because one of the things, I mean, your friends smoke, you drinking, I mean, you tend to take 1 or 2 puffs. If you're not a smoker, you don't want to be introduced to smoking, because sometimes you're not even sure what is in that joint or that cigarette. You all of a sudden you end up start smoking.
That
you
is
have
a
to be
good point.
mindful
Yes, that is a
of
good
all
point.
of these things. We want persons to be of sound mind during the Christmas season. We want persons to maintain the healthy lifestyle and so on. We do not want people to go overboard, because imagine that for the week of Christmas, you partake in all of these activities, and come January, you all sick, you have to be spending more money in medical bills. You understand? So we want to make sure that persons do all of these things, right?
It's just about overindulging. You know, you don't want to overindulge. And I have a story of myself, because, I go out a lot of times and, people try to offer me drink, and I tell them, give me malt, give me water. And my buy PS go on no malt or water. But I stopped drinking, and it was actually around Christmas time.
Really?
Yes, I stopped drinking because there was this one incident where, I went to, a Christmas party, and, I just started drinking. It's Christmas time, I freeing up. It's probably the day before Christmas. I'm freeing up.
You were pretty young at that time.
I was young. It was that was a long time ago. So I decided to drink. Yeah, I'm drinking. And then, Christmas came, and Christmas passed me by because I was so hangover that I could not even get up to enjoy Christmas that year. So I figured, that not making sense. So after that, I stopped drinking. Once in a while, socially, just have a little sip sometimes. Mostly when I'm home, but once in a while. But that was my reason for stopping. Like, that just did not make sense to me, that I had so much to drink the day before Christmas. And Christmas Day, I'm hearing all my friends outside having fun, but I cannot get up because I'm so hangover. So.
Well, your body could not handle much alcohol, apparently, Room.
Well, probably I had too much to drink as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you mix your drinks?
Well, you don't even remember.
Let me just say that too. And a lot of us, when we engage in drinking around the Christmas season, I mean, when we do the house to house, we tend to mix our drinks and makes it even worse.
Everything you get, you try to drink it, yeah.
And then we tend not to eat, because we're drinking how many days, and or whatever we get, we eat. So all of that is detrimental to our health, and we just have to be mindful what we do. If you're going out and drink, make sure you fill your belly, or you eat something solid, or you have a good breakfast and so on, because it's the Christmas season. By the time you step out, everybody tell you come for a drink.
Me a boy.
Yes. So all of that you have to be mindful of and do what you have to do.
And also,
do it right.
I think drinking a lot of water helps also. If you're drinking, you have to keep yourself hydrated, because you can get dehydrated from all the drinking. So you drink your water in between, ensure that you're getting enough water as well.
And a lot of people, what they do? They just, after a while, they stop the drinking and they just drink water constantly. And so on. I've seen it many times. They tell you that's their cutoff point, and they just continue drinking water even if they're among their friends. Yeah? Yeah,
you must know your limits, just like anything else. If you're drinking, if you're eating, you must know your limits. You must know when to stop.
Don't forget the fruit cake and the black cake have endless alcohol too. So when you eat a lot of that, you double in the alcohol content. I mean, that happened to me one Christmas.
You serious?
Because the fruit cake, didn't have alcohol, so I drowned it with the bunchy and the strong rum. So whilst I'm eating the cake, I'm drinking the peanut punch. You sit down there indulging.
Yes.
And when to get up,
It's when you have to get up, then you
then I
realize.
fall, boom. I say, my show. So these are things that happen, and we tend to, be, enjoying the season, but at the same time, don't enjoy too much where it can affect you later on. So having said that, in the event that you indulge in unsafe sex with whichever partner, and then you want corrective measures, that is when our wellness center comes into play. We have the sexual and reproductive clinics. They offer the HIV and the syphilis rapid tests. You can always come and find out what days that they're offering it. And then you can have your rapid test. You will be going through some counseling first. And then you get your results in 15 minutes. And afterwards, they do another set of counseling for you.
Who does the counseling?
The nurse.
Are you sure some counseling are done?
Yes. They do some counseling.
I've done tests before, not because I was scared.
Was it the rapid test?
My annual, checkups. Yeah, it was a rapid test, and then nobody counseled me. And
nobody counseled you?
I asked, hey, why you coming? Is it something you were afraid of? Is it, or were you exposed or anything? But there was nothing like that.
You mean at the lab or at our wellness centers?
No, it was at the hospital in Viewport.
Exactly. I'm talking about our wellness centers.
Okay, all right.
Where our services exceeds no other than the best.
Okay.
So they'll give you some counseling, and feel free to find out where we offer our tests for rapid HIV and syphilis and what days. So therefore you can always go and have a little one-on-one chat with the nurse and take it from there. It is always wise. If you know that you have overindulged, you're hypertensive, you're diabetic, come to our clinic, speak to our nurse, our diabetic and hypertensive clinics at our different wellness centers. Come and check. Come and have a discussion with the nurse and let them guide you accordingly. Also, before I say corrective measures, I forget to tell you. You can make sure that you have your condoms available before.
So preventative measures first.
You see, Romana didn't even remind me of these
preventative, and then so you don't get to the point of corrective measures. You do preventative measures.
I just remembered the condoms.
So
Romana, that's one thing you should have told me from day one.
Well, I'm a married man, so Yeah, but I believe that all the wellness centers they provide it for free.
Yes, they're supposed to have condoms, especially this month is HIV/AIDS Awareness Month.
I didn't know that. Okay, so you mean next month? Because
next month.
This month is diabetes, so next month.
Yes. So you can go and get your condoms. There are different sizes available. I think I have 53 mm and 58 mm and so on. So you can get your different size, or you can go to the supermarket, whichever one you so desire, and so on, and get your different brands, different sizes.
Some people are still skeptical about going and buy and purchase and probably get it. I don't know what
the condoms.
Yeah, I don't know what that is about.
Is it a stigma attached to it?
I don't know. I really don't know what it is.
Before people were a little bit more skeptical, but now when I go to the various places and I bring condoms, people watch no face. They don't hesitate to take the condoms.
All right, well that's good.
And so
that's
at
good.
first, they would be shy. Yes. Some persons would be shy. But when they see their colleagues take it or their friends take it, they will grab a few, even if they say it's not for themselves, married or not. You understand?
Yeah,
all of that is in the game. And they might say they have their son, they're taking it for their son, they're taking it for their cousins. At the end of the day, as when you take it and you use it, whether it's for your son, your cousin, and the safe sex practices are there, that's what we really want. You understand? And we don't have a problem with that. And married men do use condoms too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess.
And that's the thing, we have the mentality. Oh, moi marié, ma ka servi condom, madame moi tout seul na point.
I guess it's a form of contraceptive.
Very much so.
Yeah. So in that case.
In that case, when you're married,
Yes.
that is the logical reason for using the condoms.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
whether we want to accept it or not in society, and like I said it at the presentation before, I mean, the ratio from men to women in St. Lucia, I mean, there are quite a number of women and less men. So whether we want to accept it or not, I mean, it's not all partners that are faithful, whether you're married or not. So a condom goes a long way.
All right.
You understand?
In that case, in all seriousness, that is where the hesitation would happen. You know, as a married man, you go into a supermarket and buying condoms. That is why you don't want, people looking at you.
No, but married men, like you said, it's a form of contraceptive.
But a lot of people don't know that. They're not,
So maybe that's where the stigma comes in,
That-
and they
that
don't
is
want
why,
to
yeah.
take the condom, or they don't want to buy the
because
condom.
Everybody will say, "Puisa condom in a madam kai."
And sometimes the women themselves cannot take any of the birth controls that are available on the market. And that's the only way you can protect your wife. And you must understand, having a child is very expensive as well. It has to be a planned thing that both parties want.
The rhythm method don't work all the time.
Really?
No, I'm supporting yes using the condom. That's what I'm saying. It's the bell off. It's called rhythm method. So bell off.
Withdrawal method?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that don't always work. So that is why the condom.
Yeah, it doesn't always work.
Yeah,
honestly,
to be effective.
So I mean, we all know it does not always work, and I mean, there are periods where you can, during your ovulation, after ovulation, your safe period days, and so on. I mean, it doesn't always work for everyone. So I mean, a married man going and buy condoms, I mean, please, people, do not stigmatize, because these are the reasons why. And people are bold enough, they see you take the condom. Oh no, Michael, so lot fam. That's not good enough. You have to respect people's privacy. And that's what we have always been saying. Be mindful what you say to people. You understand?
But something that is not widespread here, probably something that, because we keep targeting men when it comes to condom, but there are female condoms as well. So
very much so.
Can we encourage the females? If your partner don't want to get the condoms, why don't you get it as a female?
That is true. Normally we do female condom demonstration, and we teach women how to put on the condoms themselves. And we teach men how to put the female condoms, yes.
Okay.
Because it's both parties, you understand? And, again, it's a culture most probably so focused on men wearing condoms rather than women wearing condoms. And that's what it is. And, people have that perception, it's not the same feeling, you don't feel the same, and all of these things. They're allergic to the latex. Different issues arise because of that. And a lot of women, they're so not accustomed to wearing the female condom.
Yeah, I don't think it's such a popular thing. Not just in St. Lucia, it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not something that you hear about a lot. I'm sure there are some people who are still surprised that there are female condoms.
That is true. But it's a very good thing to use. I mean, and if you have not tried it, try it at least once to get a feel of what it is, as long as both you and your partner agree. Because sometimes, it could be the man or the woman, sometimes they don't really want to try it. But all these are good and innovative ways to have protected sex and so on. I mean, try it once. It doesn't hurt to try. I mean, it could be a very exciting thing. And you never know, you might like it.
You might, exactly,
and you might feel more comfortable using it than the the male condoms. So, I mean, these are available. Always, don't hesitate to get some, right?
Yep.
Wonderful.
Get some, yes.
I'd even forget about the female condom.
You see?
You see?
It is not that popular, and a lot of people forget about it because the concentration is most times it's on men. Men to do the right thing, men to do this because as you said, the ratio. There's more men. There's more
women out there.
Women. So the perception is that men will have more partners.
So the thing about it now is that means I really have to do more demonstration of female condoms when I go out there so that more women might develop an interest in it. Yeah. That is so true. I mean, coming out of that, you're realizing, oh boy, we really need to create a little bit more awareness when we go out there to the community and bring it out to the women so that, both men and women can be open to using the female condoms and so on. But I don't really see them in our supermarkets, do we?
No, I've never seen
our drugstores.
I've never seen one before.
I've never seen one?
I've seen it, during my research, during my reading, seeing in different stuff online,
well, I must bring one for you to see. I have some in my office.
Okay. We'll distribute it, all right?
You have to learn how to use it first before you can.
Well, I've seen some demonstration. You twist it around, you ensure that it covers. I know. I try to. The thing with me, whenever something pops in my head, I go and research about it. So I try. I know a bit of everything. People sometimes surprised about what I know, but I know about a bit of everything.
Yeah, random research.
Wonderful. You learn so much. Yeah.
I agree with you. And that's what makes you, quite knowledgeable about many things when you do random research. I'm happy that you did, because if you did not, you would not remind me of that.
Exactly.
Yeah? Is it time for our...
Time for what?
I thought you were going to say it's time for...
No. It's not time yet. I lost my train of thought. But if anyone wants to make any contribution, you can call 459-7885 or you can call 730-5388. All right? You can message us 730-5388 to make your contribution. Oh, yes. I was going to ask, in the event, you are drinking, you indulge, sexual activities with somebody. And, there's a possibility that you might have, caught something. Is there like an emergency where you can just run to the hospital and there is something that they can give you?
How do you know what you've caught?
Well,
in case of pregnancy, yes.
Oh, yeah,
there is a morning after pill, but it has to be prescribed.
Yeah, well, now.
Now it has to be, yes, only now, because a lot of people used to abuse it, and they used to, it's like every week some women used to take the morning after pill, which is not very good for your health.
I think you're supposed to take that like at least twice for the year.
Twice for the year.
You see what I know? I know a lot.
You know a lot, quite a lot.
Yes.
Amazing. But it's always wise. It's so good that you're quite knowledgeable, and it brings out a message to men also. Get yourself educated, not only about yourself, but about women and, everything surrounding women as it relates to sexual health and so on. By doing that, both parties will be knowledgeable. So that's so good, Romanas, that you know all these things. So men too, don't keep yourself ignorant about certain topics.
There's a lot of things that you have to know. Especially about your partner, about everything around you. You have to know. You cannot just do things like you're mad.
Yes. And I agree with you. or you learn things from out on the streets. It's always wise that you go and research, and when you hear these things, you learn too. You understand? So, having said that, that is so true. In case of pregnancy, you could always go to our, seek medical advice and so on. You can get the morning after pill. But that doesn't mean that every time you go and do a madness and you
You have
forget
to-
yourself or to go and take morning after pill. I mean, I can tell you, I mean, all of us go through it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, many of us, I mean, we sometimes, you know, out of excitement, you very spontaneous, you know, that's human nature, and we're not faulting anybody because of that. But then at the same time, like I said, the corrective measures and what you do at the end of the day, because I mean, sometimes you're under the influence, Lord have mercy. You do something out of the way, and you know, but that doesn't mean you
yeah.
have to repeat it.
Exactly, and at the same time, you don't want to put your health in further danger because taking too much of those pills, it's never good for your health in no way at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And when you read the thing about it, it tells you all the side effects and so on, and your period cycle, how it can change your period cycle and so on. So all of these things you have to be mindful of. Just not take the money. And I'm so glad that now you really need a prescription for the morning after pill, because a lot of people used to use the excuse that they're allergic to the latex. All of a sudden, everybody allergic to latex.
Oh, okay.
So and a lot of young women, they tend to abuse it. So I was really, really happy that
now it's more controlled.
And something I would like to say, not only to the women but the men, don't abuse your body, and like for example, using the morning after pill so very often, because there comes a time sometimes you want to have a child, or you settle down and you want to have a family, and it makes it, because of all this lifestyle, it makes it so difficult. You understand? Especially when you really settle with the person that you love, and you want to have a family, you want to have a life, but because of your past, events in your life, it makes it so difficult now. And a lot of women go through these kind of issues. Do you understand? So you have to start taking care of yourself, start taking care of your body, because you do not know how life will,
Exactly.
be.
That is important. That is a good point.
And that's a lot of women go through that. When they're younger, they tend to live a carefree life. Abusing this kind of medication, doing all kinds of things. And when they're ready to settle down, they cannot, because, of all these complications that they're having.
Yeah, it happens like a domino effect where, it's like you've had it. It's like life telling you, all right, you've had all your fun, because you get to a point where you get a husband, you cannot have a child for your husband, then it's a lot of marital problems that will happen,
Very much
and
so.
persons who are married and cannot have a child, they can tell you, it might not be for that reason, but they can tell you it's a lot of problems when you with somebody and you cannot have a child for them. It makes you feel less of a person. It creates a lot of problems in your marriage, so you don't want to get to that point. It is an extreme, but it is possible.
Even for women that has genuine medical conditions, and they cannot have a child, or they can no longer have children, it still causes marital issues.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, so we have to be mindful of all of these things. And the same goes for men. When you're young, don't go using all this kind of stuff, to keep an erection. You want to prolong this. You want to have how many rounds for the night, and after a while, you're just destroying your body based on what you're using. If that's the natural, that's you naturally, fine. But to be going and use all these kind of things out there, I don't know what are they, Rome?
To be honest, I have no
The
idea.
Had-On Plus.
Yeah.
The what they call it.
Like that is, I don't know, there's things that will never appeal to me, because you have to understand how the body works.
So how you do any research on that one? You don't know them?
Because I'm not interested in that. Because what I know, and I don't need to do research to know that, at some point your body will become dependent on this.
Very much so.
So when you're older, you will come to a point where you always need those things.
And you cannot make no rounds.
Yes. So if you have a problem where you cannot, it is a serious problem. You know, a man not being able to keep an erection is a serious problem because it's blood. You know, probably your heart not functioning properly. You have high cholesterol. It's something's wrong. You know, seek medical attention first.
Seek medical attention.
You might be just covering up a problem.
So, and stop using all these things out there.
Go and exercise. Go and eat properly. Instead of eating chow mein every day, go and eat some dashing.
The hot wet cuisine. Hot wet cuisine. Not taka maile gym. And so on. Because they say, when the stomach got quiz, you're like weak. So that is what, instead of abusing all of these things, and that is where we have our services at our hospital, at our wellness center. And I keep on repeating these things because many people, or you can go to your private practitioner, many people tend not to utilize the services that are available to them unless it's too late. You understand? That is why I keep on repeating, these are the services that are available in the community. And sometimes it's just a walk away.
Most times it's free.
And free.
Yeah.
Most times. So you have to make use of it. Right, Romanas?
Yep, definitely.
Good. Now, having said that, I just want to make mention that for the new year, we were talking about corrective measures. For the new year, don't forget, after all of these things, or if you have not done it for this year, don't forget to do all the tests, your medical checkup for the new year. And that is of paramount importance. Ou ni pou fè tout test ou bize fè pou body ou. So, ni pou check sick, ou ni pou check pressure, ou ni pou check kidneys, ou ni pou check liver, ou ni pou check down, ou ni pou check zio, nettoyer down, check zio, ou ni pou fè tout se bagay sa la. And you need that annual medical checkup. You need it. And that is, I mean, a lot of people, sometimes they say that they're going and do it, but somewhere along the line, they tend to forget. Women have to do their pap smears. They have to do the self-breast examination. Men over the age of 40 needs to do the prostate exams. You understand? All of these are things that you should be doing. So, Rome, come January, we're hoping that more people will come and say that they're coming into the wellness center to see the doctor, so that they can write the referrals to do all the medical checkups, their labs, and so on. Okay, so to make sure that they're starting the new year knowing how they can, continue living a healthy lifestyle.
But I think, some people, it's mandatory for them, especially those who work at the hotels. I think they must do it, like an annual checkup. I don't know.
The health cards.
Yeah.
The health
is that different? Or?
Yeah, it's a blood and stool test. By law, you have to do your health certificates. Where the stool, they check to see if you have, how is it? Worms.
Any parasites?
Yes, and so on. And then you do your blood test because of certain illnesses, you can transmit it through foods and so on. So this is your blood and stool test. How can you correct me and tell me about parasites? And that's what I studied at school, and I'm talking about worms. Lord have mercy.
You see?
I lost my train of thought there. That is so not good.
Yeah, but my question is that sufficient? Is that enough for those persons who do the stool test and that for the health card? Is that enough? Or do they have to go further and do, probably they have to do prostate and,
No, they don't need to do all of that when they're working in the hotel.
No, I'm saying, generally.
Generally, yes, you have to do your annual checkup.
Yeah, but would that be enough? Like the test that they do for the hotel, is that enough? Or do they have to do more? Would they have to do more?
Well, the requirement to work in the food establishment, you have to do the health card.
So you're not understanding all right, so
it all depends on what department you work in at the resort.
I'm saying generally. All right, so you work at the hotel, it's required that you do that health
The health card, yes.
All right, so you do that health card. But generally, as you're speaking, like everybody must, do their annual checkup. What I'm asking, is that enough? As an individual, is that enough for you? Or should you go further and do, different other tests?
Okay. I understand what you're saying.
Not to work at the hotel, just generally.
The general checkup is required. Your yearly examination is required for everyone. Everyone, no matter where you work. So you can be a fisherman, you could be a farmer, you have to do your annual checkups. So like we said, checking your eye, your cleaning your teeth or going to the dentist, doing your liver function, your kidney function. I mean, for men over 40, doing your prostate, the women doing their pap smear, their breast examination, and so on. And based on your medical, family medical history, or your medical history, they might send you for additional, tests or, whatever is needed based on your medical condition. So these are the annual things you must do. No matter. And another thing you have to be mindful of, we have to encourage our young people to start seeking medical attention, like getting them into the realm of coming to the dentist, getting them to the realm of seeking medical advice. It can just be, even if they're not sick, take them to the doctor to do a little checkup. Because that's one of the issues we have, where people are afraid to see doctor, because they were never sick, so they never went to the doctor. So now it's problems for them to go to the doctor. And or some of us, our children have their pediatrician. We can continue bringing them to our pediatrician even if they're not sick, but just for a little checkup off and on. Also, some of us have family doctors. So imagine you have a young man and he's in his teens, he's going through puberty. You can always bring him for a little checkup to see how well his body is progressing and so on. Okay. It's always wise to do that, to get them to understand that and feel comfortable with the doctors, the nurses, and so on. Because a lot of people go to the doctor and they're not comfortable at all. And you understand? And to be able to express themselves, how they feel, so on.
That is important. And I think one of the thing that you have organized, the course that you have organized, one of the parts is, they teach people how to express themselves. Because sometimes you're going through something, you go to the doctor, but you cannot express yourself enough so that the doctor can understand. And that is how the doctor is able to diagnose you and know exactly what's going on. It's when you explain your symptoms and the signs. But most people, they cannot do that.
Yeah, and don't feel intimidated by the doctor. Don't let the doctor tell you how you feel. You have to tell
You have to say it, yeah.
Very much so, Romanus. And that's what we need to understand. Like you said, the self-management, chronic self-management program teaches you all these things. And that is why it is so important that we're asking persons to enroll into these programs. So one of the things, like I was saying, is our young ones need to get accustomed. And we start at a very early age. And that is when you start introducing the children to all of these things. So later on in life, they have it as a habit, and they just continue the trend because it's routine for them. You understand? I mean, even if you don't take them to a pediatrician that costing you $300 or $200, but you can just take them to the doctor and say, Doc, the child has nothing, but the child is going through puberty, a few changes, so the child can, develop that kind of confidence that they can always go to the doctor, speak to the doctor, and so on, or the nurse at the wellness center, and so on. But then there is a downside to it, where when you go, it's according to the treatment you get. So sometimes they say, "Upa malade doctor." So, but then you have to get the children accustomed, as young as possible, get them accustomed of seeing the doctor.
I truly believe that would be the case. Like if I go to a hospital and I say, nurse, there's nothing wrong with me, I just want to see the doctor. I feel like, that is what I'll get. The nurse would look at me like, what is wrong with you? There's so many people that really needs to see the doctor, and you come in and always time.
Well, that's why you go to the wellness center or you go to your private practitioner.
Yeah, I would go to
Yeah.
my private doctor.
And again, the nurses, you do not deny anybody of health care. It could be vitamins the doctor prescribed to the child. You understand? Because sometimes you see the child looking fine, but then the child is of age where the child needs a particular vitamin or something, and you know nothing of. You know, or the child, when you tell the doctor the child medical history or a family medical history, the doctor just might start off the child on some kind of vitamins to boost the child system very early. And so on. Who are you to say, Pamela, do doctor? That's not your role. You understand? The role is you want persons to start coming in early and let the doctor decide whether to give the child vitamins or not.
Yeah.
But Romanas, again, it's the way we are trained and the type of service that we provide, because that is a typical thinking. That is a typical thinking, but we want people to get out of that level of thinking and start educating our young one the way they're supposed to be educated. And I'm glad you brought that up, especially when it comes to our own community members that are in the medical profession. When you come, you say, no, it's not for you to decide. You as a parent need to coach your child the right way and don't be intimidated by our health professionals. Yeah?
Yep.
Very well.
Our time is running out. It's 1 minute after 11.
Really?
Yes. Time runs by so quickly. But I have a question, but I don't know if that's that has to do with environmental health.
You're really interested in environmental health, Romanas. You'll have to do the public health course. That's a fact.
Okay, let me just ask. But is environmental health responsible for checking the meat, like the Christmas meat, like where they go around checking to make sure that the meat is good?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So environmental health.
So we'll have a topic on that later this month.
Environmental health together with Ministry of Agriculture, the veterinary department. So normally they team up, and a lot of people can tell you before the animal is slaughtered, they normally see Mr. Philippi. Normally comes, check everything out. And then afterwards, the health officer, and he'll issue a paper saying, yes, you can slaughter that animal. And afterwards, but we'll have a session on that.
Okay.
Then you'll have the environmental health officer coming in and inspect the meat. Having said that, what I meant to say is, yes, we're going to have a session, because I did go to environmental health requesting that, what are the requirements this year and so on, but they said it was a little bit too early. So we will talk about that in another segment and so on, about meat inspection and ensuring that your carcasses and everything is
disposed of correctly, is it?
What should I say? My train of thought. I lost my train of thought. Well, now you're putting me back in the environmental health.
Yeah, but we'll have a topic about it so that we can better educate people, because it is very important. It is health.
Are you thinking of slaughtering an animal?
No. I'm just making sure that if I consume anything, that it has gone through the process that it's supposed to go through. The procedures have been followed, and everybody listening is aware. If they are going to slaughter any animal, that there are procedures that they need to follow.
And I agree with you, and awareness is very important, because many years you get a lot of people non-compliant, and these are the same people every year that tend to do it, and more and more, because what I would like to say is you want to work with community members. You don't want to take action because everybody is trying to make a money, and you don't want to take certain actions. But however, some community members make it very, very difficult for others, as well as they compromise other people's health, and they have to be mindful of all of these things. And at the end of the day, it boils down to the public. If you see the animal is being slaughtered in unsanitary conditions, and you still choose to purchase the meat. It boils down to the consumer at the end of the day, because an environmental health officer cannot be monitoring all meat points
Cannot
at
be
every
everywhere.
minute. Yes. So you have to be mindful of all of these things. So that's for another show.
All right, so yeah, so we'll wrap up now. So your final points before we wrap up. Thank you guys on Facebook for keeping it locked on, and you Radioland, thank you so much. Your final points before we wrap up.
Let me just say thank you to all our listeners. Feel free for the following year, topics that you would really like to hear about, and so on. If we cannot handle these topics, we'll bring persons that specialize in these areas to educate the public. And there are many things a lot of people are interested in, but they don't come out to say it. So feel free to call our show. We will be recording these topics, and we can guide you accordingly. And I love the service that you need if you having issues in acquiring these services. You could always call us, and then we can direct you and where to get these services and so on. As long as it's within our region, we can assist you, or who can guide you accordingly. We might not know, we might not be able to guide you, but we might put you in the right direction on who can guide you. So feel free to contact us on the radio program. Don't be shy, don't hesitate, and don't be afraid that persons might recognize your voice when you call.
Yeah.
Or if you see me on the street, you could always stop me and ask me. That's not a problem. A lot of people do that. And don't hesitate to give feedback. That we can really appreciate to improve the program and to ensure that things that you really want to learn about, you will be quite educated about it.
All right, so thank you so much, Miss Wilson. Until next time, have a great day.
Thank you,
Casualty
and thank you,
911.
Romana, so very much.
Casualty 911, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with the consultant. Health is not